I've installed my tail light on the bracket. We give you some 5/8 long quarter 20 screws. These are button heads, so they use an Allen wrench. It's a 5/32 Allen wrench. So go ahead and snug those up. Be sure and put some blue Loctite on those, because this thing's going to be bouncing up and down. So blue Loctite them, snug them up good, and then we can go ahead and hook up all the wires. Oh, one thing, there's a light at the bottom of the light there. That lights your license plate, so make sure that's on the bottom, smooth side up. Now to run our wires. What I did is I ran the tail light wire behind this strut here, along the swing arm here, and I put a wire tie right there. And then I put another wire tie right ahead of that little flange. That'll keep it from sliding back. And then what I did is I ran the wires up just under this brace here, and then I'm going to leave these a little bit loose right now until we connect them, and then I'm going to figure out how to do this, because we want a little bit of slack here because the swing arm's going up and down, so we don't want that to bind or something there. So leave that for now, and we'll plug in all the wires. On the signal light on this side, I basically just ran the wire through here and came out here. So under the battery, come out in this area right here. And then on the other side, I'll show you how I did that. Okay, I took the wire and I ran it underneath this pan and out this little slot here. That way you can kind of run it along there, and then I put a wire tie right there before it runs through that hole to the other side. I just put a little wire tie there to kind of hold that in place. And then we'll go ahead and hook all this stuff up. Now, as neatly as you can, keep these wires routed properly. I'll go ahead and start plugging these wires in. It'll look a little like a rat's nest at first, but go ahead and plug all the colors in except for the two greens coming out of the signal lights. There's my greens coming out of the signals. I haven't plugged those in yet. And then on the bike itself, don't plug in the green and the gray. So match all the colors up, black to black, red to red, blue to blue. Those should work when you turn the key on. Make sure you plug these in really tight too. Give them a real good push because they kind of pop into place. You don't want these connections to ever come loose, so push them really hard. Okay, we can go ahead and turn the lights on and see if everything works. The key on. Everything seems to work, except the signal lights. Brake light works. Light below works for the license plate. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the key off, and we're going to lightly plug in the greens, the green and green and gray gray. Just plug them in lightly, and I'll be right back. Okay, I lightly plugged them in, and wow, I lucked out. So hit your signal light switch. Left is left, and right is right. Now, if they're backwards, just go ahead and switch these wires. Switch the green and the grays, and then it should correct the problem. Let's go ahead and plug them all in real tight, and then we'll tuck them in. I've tucked all these wires back behind these two clips here that hold the side cover. So tucked them back in there neatly as I could. And then I put a wire tie around this wire that comes from the motorcycle, just to kind of tie them in there so they won't move much. And then the last thing I did is down here. Now, for sure, you want to put a wire tie around here. And leave this just a little bit loose, because this has to go up and down. I left this wire tie a little bit loose, so I didn't get it really tight. Because as that goes up and down, you don't want to bind of any way. And then you mainly want to wire tie that really well, because you don't want this wire get caught in your chain. So make sure you wire tie that. And then, gosh, I think we're finished. We can go ahead and wrap this up. Just double check all your lights again. Make sure everything works. Always check your lights too. Before you go for a ride, make sure everything works. The LED tail light will probably never burn out. But these are bulb type. They can burn out, so we give you some extra bulbs. So make sure all your lights, your headlight and everything works. Really important to make sure you got all the lights on when you go for a ride. Safety first.